So, you're thinking about a move to Florida Space Coast in 2026, and you got it narrowed down to two heavy hitters, Palm Bay and Titusville. This is the classic showdown we see buyers wrestle with all the time. On one side, you have a city that's like a brand new suburbia popping up overnight, full of new construction and surprising affordability. And on the other side, you got a town with deep historic roots and an investment story that's literally tied to the stars. And honestly, making the wrong call here can cost you more than just money. It can cost you your entire lifestyle. In this video, we're putting these two rivals in the ring for a definitive round-by-round breakdown. We'll get into the real numbers, the underground lifestyle, the job scene, and the future investment potential for 2026 and beyond. And by the end, you'll know with confidence which of these Space Coast cities is the right spot for you. I'm a local real estate agent right here in Brevard County, and my team and I have helped tons of families navigate this exact choice. We live and we breathe this market every single day. So you're getting the kind of insight you won't just find on Zillow. Now let's get to it. All right. Let's kick things off with a question that's been on everyone's mind. Where does your money go further? This is probably the most important round, and this is where you'll see the biggest difference between Palm Bay and also Titusville right out the gate. But first, let's zoom out and look at the big picture for Brevard County. After a wild few years of price growth, 2025 was a year of adjustment. It was like the market finally took a long overdue breath. With more homes hitting the market and prices stabilizing, even with higher mortgage rates, if you're looking ahead for 2026, forecasters are expecting modest, stable growth for Florida as a whole. Think somewhere in the 2 to 5% range. So it's not a crash, but a welcoming return to a more balanced market. This is awesome news for buyers because it gives you more negotiating power than you've had in years. Now, let's zoom in on our two contenders. First up is Palm Bay. When people talk about affordability on the Space Coast, they're usually talking about Palm Bay. Think of it like a giant brand new supermarket. The aisles are wide, the selection is massive, and the prices are built for volume. It's the most populous city in Brevard County and also the largest by landmass in the whole state of Florida, which is the secret to its affordability. There's just a ton of land available for development here, and that has sparked an absolute explosion of new construction. You'll find community after community from various home builders, with base prices for new single-family homes often starting in the high $200,000s, as well as the low $300,000. According to recent market data, the average home volume in Palm Bay is sitting around $298,000. This number reflects the market correction, with value seeing a dip of about 4.8% over the last year. For buyers, that dip is a major opportunity. It's a significant discount compared to the Brevard County metro area average, which is closer to $335,000. If your main goal is to find a new, modern home without breaking the bank, Palm Bay is almost impossible to beat in this region. You'll find a sea of 3 and 4 bedroom homes, and builders are often throwing in incentives to sweeten the deal. Now, let's head north to Titusville. This city is less like a supermarket and more like a favorite neighborhood grocery store. It's smaller, more familiar, and full of character you can't find anywhere else. While you can find some new construction, it's nothing like the massive scale of Palm Bay. Here, you're more likely to discover charming mid-century homes and quiet neighborhoods with big, beautiful oak trees. The kind of character you just don't find in a brand new community. And here's where things get interesting. The old assumption was that Palm Bay is always cheaper, but recent market shifts have flipped the script. Some market reports show that overall housing costs in Titusville can be about 11.3% less expensive than in Palm Bay. Recent data shows that the average home value in Titusville sits at about $263,000 and $266,000. Just like Palm Bay, Titusville saw a price correction, with values dropping about 5.4 to 5.5% over the past year. So what does this all mean? It means you have to look past the old stereotypes. While Palm Bay is the king of new construction affordability, Titusville is now a serious contender for the best value overall, especially if you love an established home with a bit of soul. The last piece of the puzzle is the overall cost of living. The Palm Bay, Melbourne, Titusville metro area is about 4.8% cheaper than the US average. But when you drill down some data, it shows Titusville is about 7% less expensive than the national average as a whole, and 15% cheaper than the average Florida city, giving it a slight edge for your day-to-day budget. To live comfortably in the metro area, it's recommended that a single person can earn around $45,000 a year, while a family should aim for about $68,000 a year. So with that being said, the winner for round one, this one's a split decision. If your dream is a brand new house and you want the biggest selection of builders and floor plans alike, Palm Bay takes the win in for new construction deals. But if you're looking for the lowest possible price tag and love the idea of an established home, the data shows Titusville has a surprising and powerful edge on overall housing altogether. Navigating these market shifts can be tricky, and the best deal for you depends on your budget. If you want to dive deeper into these numbers, the best next step is to book a free call with yours truly with the link in the description below. Treat yourself, don't cheat yourself. Ding, ding, ding. Round 2. We're going to talk about the economy and also the job market. Now, a great home price is only half the story, especially if you don't have a great job to go with it. Luckily, the entire Space Coast economy is like a tree with a thick, powerful trunk, a trunk that's now sprouting with new branches everywhere. It's an absolute powerhouse fueled by aerospace, defense, engineering, and also manufacturing. Now, the main trunk is that legacy of aerospace giants like L3 Harris, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, and Embraer. But the new space race with SpaceX, Blue Origin, and ULA launching rockets sometimes multiple times a week from the Cape Canaveral area is like a constant source of energy, creating a steady stream of high-paying jobs. And we're not just talking about rocket scientists. These companies need engineers, IT pros, project managers, technicians, and a whole ecosystem of support staff. Now, new branches are growing, making the whole economy more diverse and resilient. We're seeing a boom in advanced manufacturing, healthcare, and logistics. Companies specializing in things like microfabrication and also robotics are setting up shop. These areas are drawn by the skilled workforce here. So how do our two cities fit into this picture? Palm Bay has gone all in on becoming the hub for its new growth, especially in the large-scale manufacturing area. Think of it as the spot where the biggest new branches are sprouting out. Its size and available land make it a magnet for huge corporate expansions. The city is laser focused on attracting engineering, defense, and tech companies. If you don't believe me, a quick search for jobs in Palm Bay shows a ton of openings in aerospace and healthcare from players like L3 Harris and Raytheon. You'll also see a growing demand for jobs in logistics, retail, and skilled trades, all part of the support system for this explosive growth. The city is actively building the infrastructure like the St. John's Heritage Parkway extension. This paves the way for future employers. Now let's shoot up north to Titusville. If Palm Bay is where new branches are growing, Titusville is the deep, stable root system and the main trunk of the tree. Its identity is completely woven into the Kennedy Space Center. A huge number of residents work either at KSC for NASA or for the contractors that keep the Space Center running. This creates an incredibly stable, well-paid employment base. And guess what? It's been here for decades already. When you look for jobs in Titusville, you'll see a slightly different mix. Of course, you'll see the aerospace and engineering roles, but you'll also find tons of positions connected to the city and public works. There's a strong foundation of municipal and public sector jobs that offer amazing stability. You'll also find plenty of work in healthcare and retail, serving locals an endless stream of tourists who come just to see the rocket launches. For anyone working at KSC, the commute from Titusville is often much shorter and easier than from southern Palm Bay. And this, my friends, is a huge quality of life perk. So the winner for round 2. Now this is another tough one that really depends on your career. For the sheer volume of private sector jobs and massive corporate projects, Palm Bay for sure has the momentum. But for stability, government-related work, and being as close as you can possibly get to the Kennedy Space Center, Titusville offers a rock-solid and reliable job market. So guess what? We have to call this one a draw. Ding, 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 ding. Round 3, lifestyle and amenities. All right, let's move past the spreadsheet and talk about what it actually feels like to live in these cities. This is where your personal taste is everything. You can think of it like choosing a new pair of comfortable modern running shoes and a classic pair of broken leather boots. Let's start with Palm Bay, which is the modern running shoe. It's designed for today's suburban life. Practical, spacious, and built for families on the go. When you think of Palm Bay, think sprawl. It's a huge city made up of dozens of neighborhoods. And because it's so spread out, your car is definitely your best friend here, because you'll be driving everywhere, to the grocery store, to dinner, to the park. The trade-off for that driving is space. You typically get a bigger yard, wider streets, and a more open, less crowded feeling. The lifestyle here is very family focused. Weekends are all about kids' soccer games, trips to the park, and also backyard barbecues. The city put a lot of money into its parks and recreation, with beautiful nature preserves like Turkey Creek Sanctuary, and plenty of spots for hiking and kayaking. And while Palm Bay isn't right on the ocean, the iconic Space Coast beaches are just 20 to 30 minutes away. For years, one of Palm Bay's growing pains was that the home building outpaced the commercial development. It was like having a giant neighborhood with no corner store. But guess what? And it's changing fast. There's a huge push for new shopping centers and restaurants, especially along Malabar Road and St. John's Heritage Parkway corridors. Now, let's head to Titusville, the classic leather boots. It's a city with history and soul, shaped by its connection to the water and also the stars. It feels more like a classic Florida town that has modernized over time. It's more compact, and its historic downtown is way more walkable than anything you'll find in Palm Bay. The downtown area has seen a major revitalization with cool new breweries, restaurants, and shops popping up in beautifully restored old buildings. There's definitely a real sense of community there. You can stroll along the Indian River, watch a rocket soar into orbit from the waterfront park, and then walk to dinner, all in the same day. And that, my friends, is a lifestyle that's tough to find in Palm Bay. Titusville is also the gateway to the Canaveral National Seashore, and also the Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge. This offers some of the most stunning, undeveloped beaches and natural landscapes in the entire state. If you love nature, kayaking, bird watching, or even fishing, the access you get in Titusville is second to none. The culture here is completely wrapped up in the space program. You can feel the excitement in the air on launch days. You see it in the business names, you hear it in the coffee shops, you feel the pride the community has in its unique place in history. So my winner for round 3. This round is all about what you're looking for. If you want a modern suburban life with a big backyard and a family-friendly vibe, and also if you don't mind driving, Palm Bay is definitely your winner. If you're looking for a city with historic soul, a walkable downtown, and amazing access to both nature and the thrill of the space program, Titusville wins it. No questions. If you're trying to decide which lifestyle is the right fit, feel free to book a discovery call using the link in the description below. Treat yourself, don't cheat yourself. Ding, ding, ding. Round 4. We're talking investment potential and also the future outlook. Now, for most of us, a home isn't just a place to live, it's our single biggest investment. So, looking at 2026, is the smart money in a high-tech growth stock or a steady, reliable blue chip? Let's look at Palm Bay first. Its investment story is like a hot tech stock. It's all about explosive growth. The city is growing at a blistering pace, with some estimates showing an annual growth rate of about 4% and a population increase of over 18% since 2020 alone. This flood of new residents is being driven by the boom in high-paying aerospace and manufacturing jobs. When you have thousands of high-paying jobs moving into the area, those people need a place to live. That creates massive sustained demand for housing. And while the market saw a short-term price dip of around 4.8%, that looks more like a buying opportunity before the next wave of growth hits. The city's sheer size means that it can handle growth for the next few decades, cementing its role as the residential engine of the Space Coast. An investment in Palm Bay in 2026 is a bet on that continued economic and population boom, so you better get in early. Now, let's look at Titusville. The investment playbook here is different. Think of it like a blue chip stock. It's all about stability and smart positioning. While it may not see the same land-driven boom as Palm Bay, it does have other powerful things going for it though. First, its market is resilient. Even with the recent dip, it has a history of steady performance. The city's proximity to the Kennedy Space Center gives it a permanent, well-funded economic anchor, like a guaranteed government contract that helps protect it from wild market swings. Titusville is also benefiting from a spillover effect. As beach towns get more and more expensive, buyers are searching for affordable alternatives that still offer great Florida living. And Titusville, with its revitalized downtown and incredible waterfront, is perfectly positioned to capture that demand. The risk in Titusville is probably lower, but the ceiling for explosive growth might also be lower than in Palm Bay. It's a more mature market. An investment in Titusville is a bet on stability, quality of life, and also its one-of-a-kind location. The ongoing revitalization of downtown provides a solid foundation for steady, long-term appreciation. So the winner for round 4. For the highest potential reward and a true long-term growth play, Palm Bay is the clear-cut winner. The sheer volume of jobs and land points to the future of serious appreciation. Now for a safer, more stable investment, with a proven track record and a unique economic anchor, Titusville may be your choice. So, after 4 rounds, where should you buy your home in 2026? Let's break it down real quick. You should choose Palm Bay if your #1 goal is a brand new home, because the selection and affordability is unmatched. You should choose Palm Bay if you are working in a large-scale manufacturing tech or defense industry, especially with major employers like L3, Raytheon, or Northrop Grumman as well. You should move to Palm Bay if you want that classic American suburban life. If you want a big backyard, good schools, and a community centered around families, Palm Bay may be it for you. You should also move to Palm Bay if you're an investor aiming for the highest potential long-term growth and are excited about a fast-growing city. Now, on the flip side, you should choose Titusville if you're focused on the best overall value and you love the character of an established home. You should also choose Titusville if you work at the Kennedy Space Center or a related company and you want the shortest commute possible. You should move to Titusville if you're an outdoor lover who wants instant access to incredible nature, waterways, and also the national seashore. You should move to Titusville if you want a historic walkable downtown with a tight-knit community feel and a culture you can't find anywhere else. Listen, at the end of the day, both Palm Bay and Titusville are incredible places to live, and they are both cashing in on the amazing economic boom happening on Florida's Space Coast. The right choice is all about your priorities, your job, and the life you want to build. If you want to make this decision and feeling overwhelmed, that's what I'm here for. The fastest way to get clarity is to simply book a one-on-one strategy call with yours truly. Just click the link in the description below and find a time that works for you. I'd be honored to help you find that perfect spot here on the Space Coast. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.